Hello guys, this is Warrior here, and we are back with another siege battle. So this battle was actually fought before the battle that I did previously, the first one that I showed. This one I'm playing as Galatia, which is right here. I elected not to use those three siege towers, and then later I kind of regret that decision, but I'll go over that in hindsight. My teammates are the Arvarchi and the Swaby. So I'd be rocking their round shields, wondrous spears, berserkers, and some sword masters in the back ranks. The defenders are the Seleucids, the Tyrillus, I think that's how you say that, and then the Marar, if I remember correctly, or Marah, something like that. Anyway, so this battle is a 3v3. We're fighting on Carthage, and what our plan is, and apparently the Averchi can do this with their siege equipment, is we're planning on doing a lightning strike for the walls. However, the Swabby player gets completely wrecked by the Moreau player, and you'll see that. I kind of destroy the Tiris player here, but he basically destroys me, but we do eventually overrun this section. However, you'll wait and see what happens the rest of it. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. So, we're deploying along this front. I'm trying to use my giant ballistas to knock that out. This guy actually ends up destroying several of my ballistas, which delays my assault here. So, what I'm doing here is I'm trying, and just like in the last one, I'm trying to get these archers up to burn these ballistas that are firing at us. And this one is actually targeting my my engines of war. So we're at 20%. So we get to 20% very early, and then it takes us a while to break down that wall, and you'll see. So these heavy siege towers actually have scorpions on top, and they can actually shellac if you put units on top. So that's why it's not wise to defend the actual walls themselves. It's wise to wait for the siege towers to come up and then rush troops in to defend key locations. However, they're doing the little pike at the doorway strategy over here with the Thorox and silver shields, so they're having their best troops up forward. Over here, we have some more silver shields guarding this section. We got swordsmen defending outer reaches, keeping the towers going so they can't just get in and start capping them down. And I think it would have been better to have the siege towers in this one. See, look, he moves all of his troops up, and then he doesn't commit over here. He should have committed, but he didn't. Well, actually, what he does is he pulls all these troops around and then funnels them through here, and you'll see that later on. So my assault, so something happens here with these three siege towers, and they kind of like glitch out, and I have some mercenary Syrian archers, and what I should have done is actually only brought two of them and another one of these Celtic skirmishers, because I actually used them to great effect here in a minute. Later on in the battle, you'll see how I use them and actually end up helping us win the section. Should have brought two more of those, or four of those javelins. But anyways, I do have some misplays here. So we have some tribal warriors, which my men are actually far superior to the tribal warriors. So we're trying to burn this last little ballista, and then I'm going to pull my archers back. Oop, a little bit of frame rate issue. Come on, we're about to set it on fire. It sets on fire, and then we're going to pull these guys back to safety. That is burnt. However, if you can see, I'm down to one ballista. So now it's going to take even longer. If I'd have been able to break this early on, I could have swarmed in. That's essentially what I do, is I swarm in and try and take these locations. Now if you see, they got pikes guarding this section, and silver shields guarding this section. Some Celtic warriors up top throwing their javelins down. He's throwing in some troops, Sworn up top. But then he quickly realizes that he's not going to be able to get through those pikes. And yeah, and he also, if you see, we're not sending our full forces through. We're sending in some feelers, see how the enemy are going to do it. And then I'm resting all of these guys in reserve, and you see me start moving these three into position to storm that wall breach. all these tribal warriors down here. It's 5 units. Then we have silver shields, Seleucids. You see them around in cushioned archers. They have a pretty balanced defense. This is a really good spot because you can put archers here and they can fire on this wall. The only way they counter that is to put archers yourself up there, or to bring the tortestas up, smash a hole in the wall, and then fan out, and then you don't have to worry about that. So, and instead of putting more troops here or bringing a ram to bust the gate, he just holds where he's at. And he gets shredded for doing that. Like down here, he sends his Oathsworn in, which was stupid. This is why you don't send men at the bottom where there's pikes, because they will just shred the pikes. And then they're getting shot with archers. It doesn't work well. Oh, he was sniping that's who it was. This guy was. Okay. I'm trying to get mass up onto the walls. Also try and see in some troop. Get a little framing. Pull away a little bit. Down here, trying to get these troops over here to attack the tribal warriors here and nullify this tower. We end up taking this tower here in a minute. So you can see my guys were throwing some javelins down, doing a little bit of damage. But my guys were glitching out and not wanting, because I was trying to hit attack and they weren't wanting to attack. Then these guys started attacking. And I should have rushed them down sooner. Rushed a unit, but I rushed them all down, and then oh crap, I need to move a unit over here. So it was a bit of a misplay. I should have sent one unit there immediately and then sent some troops down here. But they do have a lot of these Thracian peltasts lined up here. We end up slacking all of this. Basically, the Tearless Pater gets knocked out. However, the Seleucid and the Marauder player survive enough intact. Just a little bit misplay. So he shouldn't have sent his Oathsworn down. He should have let his Celtic warriors do the job. These guys should have went in right here. But what he's doing here is kind of clever. These scorpions will actually fire at anything on the walls. He's fighting up here, but they're losing. He's trying to support. We're losing badly over here. Oop. Frame me there. Alright, so we have our first bit of action on the ground. So I send these guys down here. Galatian Legionary says we're losing badly. It's because we're outnumbered. These guys are here. We're actually going to end up winning that fight. These guys are still glitching out. We're at 81%. I'm moving more troops in. I'm about to send 6 whole units through this little gap. 3 here, 3 there. That's my plan. And he's moving troops in anticipation for what's about to happen. And I have these 2 spears here, and I always like to bring a few spears in case they have some cavalry. They end up having cavalry, but I probably should have exchanged that with something a little bit more useful. Still trying to break through. Even he's waiting for that wall to go down. 87%. These guys are starting to come on top. They're throwing their javelins down. Need to get these guys down so these guys can't fire their javelins into them. These 2 are fighting here. I noticed this threat, and I'm trying to beat this down and win. Here, they're getting flanked and charged. These guys finally get this sorted out, and they start coming down. So they're going to come down and attack here. And I'm going to throw, if I remember correctly, I throw 3 this way, 3 that way. Oathsworn are moving in. And then at a certain point, this guy right here, he just quits out the game. So that kind of hurt us a lot, him just quitting out, and the AI takes over. And I hate that in this, you have a bunch of people that'll just quit out of games instead of fighting. This guy comes free. He's attacking there. Still doing alright right there. We're trying to win here. Freeman will get slaughtered now. I'm moving these 3 units over here to face the silver shields. Move some Celtic warriors up. The pikes redeploy. And then I move these Celtic skirmishers. With more legions. He should have committed his oath sworn further. Wish he would have. I don't know what. Oh yeah, my ballista's just firing or whatever it can fire. I should have opened up another breach here, so I can move more troops in. Alright, so here. I see those pikes. I see these Celtic skirmishers. I'm like, okay, I can deal with these pikes. So I start throwing javelins at these pikes over here. And you're about to see. Come on, start throwing. I know you want to. I thought it was now. Okay, we'll keep going to this side of the action. We have a nice little wall here. This is not going well because he starts moving his peltas up. I realize this, and I'm trying to move my archers into position to start suppressing those guys, and I should have moved some of them up here, but the problem is there's nothing to defend. He's moving some thorax swordsmen into position. Ah, here they go. Now they're starting to throw their javelins. Starting to see they're starting to get hit, and then there's archers coming in from the backside. These four are shooting these guys. We're chewing through these levy freemen. And I'm trying to get my archers situated into position. These guys are holding good. We're about to win over here. We're actually winning here. Problem is I need these guys to bust through. These thorax swordsmen end up being a pain in my side. Throwing our javelins. We're starting to beat up on these silver shields. We're starting to push. This whole sector is in danger of falling. You can still see they have a bunch of troops still stacked up here. And then all of a sudden they just start, okay, we're just going to pull all these troops and come through here. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to move everything we got in through here. That's what my teammates start doing, which is not what we should have done. These guys should have kept up the pressure here, and then I could have fought down this way, but that's not what they ended up doing. We're about through. He's moving another unit of tribal warriors to try and defeat this. I have a small group still fighting. They're in shield wall. I'm trying to get these archers to where they can start firing. About to break through over here. They're moving more pikes into position. I finally moved my Galatian spears. This fight, now my guys are finally returning fire, which I needed to have done that a while ago. It's taking me a while. I'm getting some mercenary Syrian archers up on these parapets through this little thing, and we're going to start firing at these guys. And they start realizing that this whole area is about to be overrun. And if he would have just committed, this whole force would have just committed through here early on, or committed to get back on these walls and start trying to, we could have done something. But anyways, it is what it is. I don't remember the guy's name, who it was, but anywho. So we're still fighting here, still fighting there. We're engaged here. They're almost dead. They commit these soldiers into this fight. We're actually going to end up losing that fight. We lose here, but we win here. And we're winning here. I move my skirmishers in. I now start moving more archers over here to try and get some fire on these guys. These silver shields are really good, and they're better than mine. Better than my Galatian. We're still at a balance of power of 50. Got some Thoyo spears, silver shields. So he's throwing a lot of weight into holding me back. And he's just sitting there, holding his position. As you can tell, there's still a lot more fighting to take place. So there's another 30 minutes left in this. So it's getting a little framey over there. We're going to pull away from that. You can see we're contesting that area. Over here, we pushed through, and now we're kind of like this. We got these archers trying to get some suppressing fire in here. Over here, we're fighting over here. However, we are taking some slinger fire. Slingers. He's moving some oaths sworn around. These towers have retaken back over, and they're getting shot, which is not particularly good. committed some sword masters. Those sword masters need to push down and engage these swordsmen. Push through and then take this and then get in behind. That's what they should have done. As soon as they saw that swing, they should have moved all these guys here to these towers and got in behind, and then we could have trapped this, but they didn't. They just kept flapping about. Teammates for you. Okay. So we got this going on. We're holding. Now they do bring their archers over here. I start firing my archers over here. I start breaking down this blob because this is a lot of their elite troops. Moving more troops into position. I got my general. I'm moving my general up to here to provide his little bonuses that he gives. Try and provide it to these troops to try and help break this. We are slowly winning. He's bringing some Oathsworn up here. He starts moving these Celtic warriors and Oathsworn are kind of just moving around the position. There's a certain point in here, somewhere around here is whenever, because it's whenever they really started moving is whenever he just left and the AI took over. He stays, the AI took over. He's pulling, oh, he's sending more sword masters in. He shouldn't have kept sending them in here. I know he did, but that was the wrong play. What he should have done, I said, okay, I'm going to come down here, leave those troops there, come down here and put Entity en masse and try and take these positions. Take the archers out, move here, and take control of this gate, and then flood his troops in. That's what he should have done, but he didn't. Or these, they could have put their troops up here, tried to take the gate. Once the gate's theirs, then they can flood their troops into this rear, compromise this entire position. Hold off, hold off, hold off. Hold them off with units and then come down and then completely trap all these units, but they didn't. Keep sending more men to the meat grinder. Now move those troops over. This position is doing okay. Oathsworn, he now sends some Oathsworn down. They're firing their javelins into here. A lot of fighting taking place here. Here we've dealt with the pikes, but the thorax swords remain. Now my men are better than the thorax swords, but not the silver shields. Mass fighting taking place here. Trying to overwhelm this. He now commits his Oathsworn. Now they're coming behind, which is what he should have done about 10 minutes ago. Or about, actually 2 or 3 minutes ago, that's what he should have done. Put some levy spears, and then in a minute you're going to see them start to realize that this position cannot be held any longer, and they're going to start to fall back. Commits more tribals. They did a really good job of holding me back here. End up routing me here. If we could have won that, that would have been great, and I could have moved them down and around. So, but I needed to keep one unit there, otherwise he could have moved it across and threatened this entire area. And now he's moving, these archers are moving over here. Trying to break through, trying to break through. Swordmasters are winning against these swordsmen, however, they're kind of trapped. So, and they're getting shot by archers, Kushik archers. Now you see them start to pull back. Starting to slowly pull back once they realize that their defenses over here have been compromised. Start pouring shots in on the backside of these guys to help out the Oathsworn. More Celtic warriors are coming in. Barely holding out here, but we did win over here decisively, which should have been a little bit more decisive. And here, they're starting to break through. Got some archers up here. My whole army is basically destroyed. And we've done damage to both their armies, but the problem remains is he is virtually intact. He loses a few troops, but for the most part, he is intact. And they keep these troops here. They don't withdraw them. They're going to keep fighting, keep causing us issues. I think they're out of arrows. They might actually have some arrows. I don't remember. So we've completely dealt with these men. So fighting that takes place here. And the Oathsworn should have been able to wreck these Morin troops, but they did not. Moreau troops. Not able to. It's alright. Moving these troops, redeploying these guys. So this is all I got left. 3 units. Celtic skirmishers. This is whenever he quits, is right here. I guess he realized the battle was over. I don't know. Or maybe not, I don't know. Or he thought the battle was over anyways. So now the AI is controlling his troops. So now these troops are rushing this way, which is what they should have been doing the whole time. And I should have brought these 3 siege engines up and put them here. Because what that would have been able to do, that would have spread out this whole area. So I should have brought these further down and then crested here and here, and that would have spread him out and broken through here is what I should have done. Put these 3 units here and outflanked them. But instead, anywho. Alright, so we got fighting here. He commits these troops to hold the line so they can get their defenses set up. You can see them kind of fleeing in the background. And at this point, I was thinking that, because I was basically focusing all around here, I was like, oh, they've thrown all these troops in. There's not that much left, right? Problem is, I wasn't paying attention to my ally. And this is the problem. These are all dramatics troops. Almost no Morin troops. That's a problem. Like, they have these troops. That's an issue. So, more heavy fighting down here. And, you know, we probably should have a little bit more communication. I don't know if they were communicating a lot better or not. Got fighting here. Not too bad. They're holding here. And they're holding here as well. Oathsworn are doing pretty well. They should. I don't know. I was thinking they should win that. I send those no, he's sending some archers in because they're out of air. I'm trying to use my ballista to break that up. Oathsworn are moving in. So these Oathsworn are taking these towers. I'm going to try and outflank them. The dramatic player, he's still there. They're all trying to move in and crush this right here. I'll move my troops into reinforce. Naked warriors. These guys need to get enforced attack here. We're still at about 50, but most of the power is in our hands, so we're gonna have to do something drastic to change it. I'm seeing, you know, troops kind of trickle. Problem is, he's virtually unscathed in relative terms. Not like Tyrus, and you'll see when we get to it. We crushed the bulk of the Silver Shield troops that he had, and he committed a lot of his better troops to holding this area. And we crushed a lot of his better troops. Problem is one whole player is pretty much intact. This Oathsworn, they're fighting a bitter fight. These guys need to combine and get that. They're trying to take this tower. They keep pulling back to hold this upper region. And what we could have done, and probably should have done, is we should have moved en masse up through here and beaten all this down and taken the high ground and left just a few troops here to hold this intersection, backed up by my archers, held here, and had them swing that way up, deal with Monroe, because he decides to fortify this area, defeat all of this, swing in behind and go this way, and then we could have taken all these little pieces right here. That's where we should have attacked. But I don't have that much of a force, so I couldn't push in mass. And I realize it and try and contest this area, but I just don't have the forces. So, and I'll show you that here in a minute. Alright, so we are going to fast forward a little bit. Oof, it's real framing. Okay, we'll go back to normal speed. Real framing, because there's a big point here where okay, so they're routing off the field. So, Germanics are coming on in. These guys are pushing forward. Galalic hunters, mercenary Syrian archers. That's my archers, by the way. Moving them down to take control over this tower. These troops I'm moving in. I got my general right here. So we've overwhelmed this little section of the city. Our force is pretty battered. Yeah, they're running. Oh, that's the Gallic hunters. Taking control of that, that means nothing. That point means nothing. So, they're holding this. This is the main square. And then their defenses start coming into view. So we have some tribal warriors, some Thoria spears. I'm like, oh, okay, that's not much. We'll be able to, because I thought the Germanic player had done a lot more damage to the Monroe player at this point in time. That's what I was thinking. Boy, was I wrong. So, see the Oathsworn moving into position. So, and then I see some Tyrlius troops are like, okay, so they're pulling back here. Here. It has to be pretty much over, right? I move this horse over here to kind of scout out this area to see what they have up here. I'm moving, these guys are exhausted, and then I see that I need to get some troops up here to contest that. These Oathsworn, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. Don't know what these guys are doing. Don't know what those guys are doing. I was trying to get these longbow hunters up on the walls, but they just need to come through. Looks like they're just glitching out. Noble riders, got some sword masters. More Oathsworn. Kind of filling out the area. Okay, so they got some slingers up here. I know they got some Oathsworn somewhere around here. I'm coming up and I'm like, oh, okay, they got 2 units up here, some archers. Okay, I need to pull back. So these were the 2 units that they had up here. If we would have pushed and held here, and he would have swung left, we could have caught that, destroyed this, moved in and dealt with all of this, and then moved in that way. But we didn't. This is what he does. So he sends his naked warriors, and he's going to have them charge Thurios spears. Oathsworn, Oathsworn. So he still has his elites. These guys are pushing this direction. Armored Chateau warriors, which are really good. I noticed that this whole flank's open and they got troops up here. So I start pulling my troops this away to hold this section. And what I should have done here, this was a misplay on my part. So what I should have done is gotten right here and put all of my legionaries right here. Moved my horse this away and used my horse over here. And tried to hold this intersection, or even hold this intersection right here. Is trap us here and hold here, and let them come in behind us, and then now we're fighting a defensive war. So he sends his troops there. Problem is they can get easily javelined in the back by or in the front by his troop. Oathsworn should be able to win that pretty handily. The problem is all these naked warriors, well, they have no armor and they're getting shot at by spears. So and they're really you flank with them. Force. These guys are moving in force. Sends Celtic warriors and hunters that don't have any more ammo against armored Chateau warriors. That's not going to go over well. This is a little bitty room over here that you can get around. He kind of goes up ahead. These berserkers should have been committed sooner, and they could have been committed right here. I'd have used them right here to smash into here and then get through. So what I do is I start trying to probe the defenses. I realize there is a lot of troops up here. And so I charge them, hoping to try and do a bunch of charge damage on them. It does nothing. Use those Celtic skirmishers up there to engage those guys. Should not have done that. Should have kept them all down here. I move my archers into position to try and take advantage of this section, which is what I wanted to do, is take all of this and then put my archers here. However, they're already defending it, so we should have pushed this away. The Germanic player should have used his troops, should have held with them and pushed this away. Got them to react and then committed. Would have been appropriate, but the AI is controlling the Averci at this point, so they do stupid things like cluster all their troops right here. Which that means they're going to hold out forever. They should have tried to... You could have used the pull-through tactic and gotten through that. And if you could have gotten through that, then you would have threatened all of this. He's moving more of his troops back and around. Once they realize that they can easily deal with me. And you see I put up a 2 kind of stage defense here and here. 75, 44. Small little defense with my general. Shadow boxing them, knowing that if at any point they can commit and just overwhelm me. I'm trying to defend this flank. I have some mercenary Syrian archers just sitting there, and I guess I forgot about them. And now we have this. And this is not going over well. They got a pretty decent defense. They understand that you have to hold this section. That's why this is important, is if you overrun the top, you can fire archers down. You can see them pulling more troops up here, because they can realize they can hold this. What's here, they can hold it easily. These guys are, and he's going to flank with these guys and smash them, which is good. But eventually they're going to realize they can push over here. Because right now they just see these 4 units. That's all they see is these 4 units right here. And so what I do is I just kind of move about. I think I only had like 2 shots with my arrows, and I think I eventually like shoot him over here. It does almost nothing, but it was the thought that counted, I guess. You see he's moving troops into position to test our defenses to see, because they don't know if we have more troops back here or not. They can't know that. These berserkers are moving into position. And we lost this when he just went charging in. If he would have came through here and us overwhelmed the top, then we could have charged in, held here with the... you see me, I pull these troops back. I realize what they're going to do. They're just going to throw their javelins. So I charge up. Say, okay, well, go charge into him. We're going to go down swinging. At this point, I realized that the battle's over. The battle is literally over. This is when I realized it, because I realized exactly how much of his forces survived. If he would have been on par with his teammate, and we could have actually done some damage to him, like our Germanic player should have done, we'd have been all right. And you're going to see there should be another charge. I don't know why he doesn't repeatedly charge in with them. Oh, those slingers. So he's sending his berserkers around. Sending 1 berserker unit in here. You see him fighting right here. This defense is about to collapse, and what I try to do is move this guy in, because I realize that this is open, or it should be open. However, they do have a unit blocking me. I move these. I move these archers down to just kind of help, because they're out of arrows. So we're fighting here. They break and run, moving archers into position because they're out of arrows. Just to get a few kills, and I think, if I remember correctly, I have the 2nd most kills in this battle for the attacker. The most kills actually goes to the Averci, and that's because they stay in the fight longer. So you see there, I see him and I go, uh-oh, well, let's see if I can do something. So I order a charge here. They haven't gotten to their shield wall just yet, and this is what should have happened. If you're not in shield wall, this is what happens. When and sword units just try and javelin cavalry. Boom! Run them right over. We're going to pull through. 52. Knocked them all down, and then I'm going to pull these guys through and attack these archers. And then I try and move my general out just to kill these archers, just get a few more kills. Down to 51. And then I'm, pop that, and I'm going to try and pull through, but I get caught. And I leave these Syrian archers here. It's just like, well, we'll hold there with what we got. They start running, and I try and pull them through with the flow. And he comes back and attacks, and then we get stuck, and then I realize it's over. Over here, the fight continues. They still have not broken through. If they would have rushed, they probably would have broken through, given this Oathsworn. Berserkers are holding back. These guys are not getting anywhere over here. They fire at them with their longbows. Got some berserkers playing chicken with them. They're capturing that tower, which I don't know why you would capture that tower. Guess, alright, why not? These berserkers, what he could have done here is sent 1 or 2 units of berserkers and held this causeway right here and protect his flank. But they're losing here. Well, they're winning a little bit, but they would eventually lose this section. Now they're bringing in fresh reinforcements to flank over here. What I've done is checked with 1 berserker, checked with a berserker over here, held this and just let it duke it out, and then pulled that berserker back. I think he eventually does that. Yeah, he's moving that guy, that guy. That guy needs to move here and hold that. And that's probably what I should have done, is move my Galatians down, put 4 Galatians here. The problem is they move some archers up here, and they start firing into the back of this. So what I could have done is put my archers here, move them out of cover, fired on them, and suppress them. See, look, there's the little pitter-patter of their feet. You can see the feet running. See the little dust? You probably didn't know that. You can actually see dust and people moving, that little destruction. That tells you that there's a unit right there. Fun little fact about Rome 2. You can't see them, but you can see the dust kicked up. These guys are moving. They're tired. So I should have defended this. Yep, see? There they are. Kajak archers. Now they're firing at the rear of these men, which is going to cause that to completely fall apart. At this point, I wasn't really paying attention. I was just kind of watching the battle unfold. All my troops are dead. But as you can see, it was a pretty big slaughter here. Lots of fighting here. Lost some archers there. Should have brought a few more Celtic skirmishers. I think they would have helped out immensely. Probably should have brought 2 Celtic skirmishers and then 2 archers. And they got 2 units of archers there. These guys are holding here, holding there, holding there. Holding here just fine. These troops are moving in. He's trying to contest this area, which I don't know why. Oh, he puts in a rear guard. Archers on berserkers. That's funny. It's only going to end one way. I'm slaughtering them, and then he should throw those guys into there. Problem is these guys are getting suppressed. If he had any archers left, he should have moved them and had them firing or there and having firing on those archers. These berserkers are against them. Disciples of Epnek. Correct me if I'm wrong. Those are really elite swordsmen, if I remember correctly. They are shredding. Yeah, absolutely shredding them. Berserkers are moving around. He moved in his Oathsworn, firing his archers at these guys. You can see how many troops they still had alive. If they didn't have these archers left, this would have been a big problem for them to deal with, all these Oathsworn and naked warriors, but they unfortunately did, so they're fighting there. My ally is trying a desperate ploy to get in around and start hammer and amble them, but it's too late. The battle is lost. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this battle up. I'm going to let it kind of play out. If you want to see more of these, please let me know. This video will be going out on Sunday. The other one came out on Wednesday. I'll kind of be throwing these in as just little extra bits randomly throughout the week. I don't know how many I'll get to them. Normally I play and then record over them. So I may, take a Saturday or Sunday or one day and just play a couple battles and then upload them. If you want to send your battle replays in, you can. You're more than welcome to, and I'll kind of give some commentary over them. That's fine. But I would also like to bring you a lot of mine and show you what I could have done, what I should have done, what we should have done, what the attackers should have done, etc. It's nice to discuss battle strategies, even in a game that's this old, because this game still holds up a lot, and I know a lot about tactics. I don't always do what I need to do at the time, but I do know a pretty decent amount about tactics. These berserkers are just going crazy against these Oathsworn, which is normally what happens. They're running. They've taken the tower. This is about to collapse. They might be able to break through there. We'll see. It'd be nice if they could have broken through there. They should have just stuck one unit there and then moved everything else around through here. That's useless. You can't get around anyway. Anyways. So, without further ado, I'm gonna let remaining of this battle kind of roll away, at least for a little while longer. Let y'all watch the battle unfold. If you're enjoying this, please leave a like, rate, subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.